Welcome back. Today I'm going to be working on a map, showing you kind of the process for how I'm doing those. I'm working on the desert right now. You can see the first floor of the ruins. We're going to be working on one of the pyramids you'll be able to explore. This is kind of the entranceway, and once you go through these doors, that will take you to the map that I'll be working on today. So first, we've got to make a new map. This will be Pharaoh's Pyramid Center. This will be a dungeon. And we'll call the map displayed will be Pharaoh's Pyramid 2. Width, we'll start with 40, and height we'll do 50. Give us a nice big size. We'll go straight to 60 and 50. Give us plenty of room to work with. Okay, so here we have this. Looking back at this pyramid, I used this floor and these walls. So I'm going to grab a little snippet of that and put it down here for reference. Everything nice and surrounded. This will give a good framework to work with. Start with, we'll do your first room will be over here. Okay, I make most of my walls two blocks high. You can make yours however high you want. 2, I think, just gives a nice definition. 1 height will give you a little bit more room to work with. But you can always just make the maps bigger, of course. And copy that and bring that over here. Grab a door. So that will be your exit back into the previous area. Okay. Up at the top here, I'm going to put together the last room that you'll be going into. This is going to be a boss room. And I want it to be good size, but not huge. Something along those lines. put a coffin in here. And because I like symmetry, I'm actually going to move this a little bit over. And I'm going to make this a double wide entrance. Next is all the things that happen between here and here. Let's start with this down, come to a smaller, this will be sort of a hub room. Like the entrance off to the side. So that will serve as a transition from here into the main room. And we'll do a little tunnel here. Let's have it branch off. Make one branch going this way, and a little below we'll have another branch going this way. And then we'll have this go to another room here. I actually think I'm going to move all this over. I don't have a lot planned for one side, but I want to do more on the other side. So let's just move that over here. And we'll clear this out. There, nice and easy. Then this one, I'm just kind of coming over and up into a little small. So this whole section actually needs to go down to accommodate for the walls. Yes, I think I will make this taller. Let's jump to 75. Lots more room to work with. Make this come down a little bit more. Just a little wider. And then we'll have another room here. This come down further, actually. I want this to be another sort of hub. This is where things are going to split off more. And probably where these are going to reconnect. So there's that. Let's put a room. Make a couple different entrances. Here. This one out a little ways. Let's actually, before I forget, let's put some kind of one-way path here. Maybe here, actually. Let's put a door here. Something like that. So I'll have a locked gate there, and we'll put another one right here. And then, so what I'll do is I'll put a switch in these rooms so that depending on which door you go through, you can access different things. And once you go through both, you can get to both sides. And then maybe we'll have a third one somewhere that requires both of these switches to be switched. That actually sounds like a good idea. I think that's what I'll do too. So, this one out. Come to a small room. I suppose kind of the nice thing about pyramids is that they weren't living places, so you can have a little bit more freedom with different rooms and things. There's, ceremonial, empty, trapped, all those kinds of things. You don't have to have like a kitchen and a bedroom and stuff. I suppose the only thing you really need to have is some kind of burial spot, since this is a tomb at the end of the day. And then we'll make this one come out. It's down, over, down. Little room down here. Oops. Oops. There we go. It's pretty easy to slip and mess that up. And then what we'll do is we'll put this, I'll put another little door right there. So we'll want some kind of magic switch. And I'll make sure that there's these locks so you can't accidentally miss them. Let's start with this. Pick something that looks good. Or actually, no, something I can do instead is we'll just put it on the wall. Here we go. So if you look back here, we had these kind of sun and spiral symbols previously. I think what I'll do is I'll carry those through over here. So here we'll have a little sun symbol, and here we'll have the little spiral symbol. Then I'm going to put an event, so below characters, player touch will activate it. It will have the text be something along the lines of field tile shift below you, pressure plate triggered. Okay. This control switches. Let's make a switch, and I'll want these to be permanent switches so that they don't get reset unless we want them to. So we'll do arrow up here. And I'll call this the sun switch. Apply, okay. This will turn on, and we'll have no event if that event is on. Apply, okay, done. Then we just have to pick. So this cannot be moved. Then when this switch is active, it goes away. Simple as that. Then I'm going to copy that and we'll put it up over here. So triggering the switch opens that door, and we'll open this section here. Next, we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll start with show text. Actually, I'm just going to copy this one. Make sure we have that same thing. Then the switch is going to be instead of sun switch, swirl switch. And we'll make sure that switch is changed. Apply. Then event page when the swirl switch is active. Then I'm going to make this one the same thing. So if you go through this, it'll open that. I'm also going to copy this and put it there. Copy this and put it there. That way, that if you go through here, you can't just run back through here. You actually have to go through each side. And we'll put it there. So if you go through this side, you'll hit that switch. It'll open these 3 doors, these 4 doors, and then this one will open these 3 doors. Pretty simple so far. This one. Let's go out. Up. Out again. Switch to this to make it a little harder to mess up. There we go. And I'm going to put some stairs. This will be some downstairs. So that'll lead to another area. We'll set that map to another time. Maybe I'll do another video for it. Come over here. So actually, I want this. There we go. That. Make this an intersection. We'll have one side go down and over. And then the other side will go up and over. I want this one to open to not a huge room, but a decently sized one. And I'm going to switch back to this because I cannot make straight lines. There we go. And fill the room. Up and then over again. Just to put some distance between those 2 rooms. Actually, that solid brick will probably look nicer since it is the inside of a pyramid. It gives more of a solid wall kind of look to it. after all, completely inside. You'll only see the walls in the rooms. Oh yeah, liking that much better already. I think there's a fill. There we go. And back to here. So this room, okay, should have plenty of space. I think I'm going to move this back just a little. There. So we're going to get to this room, and it'll be about yay big. Next, I'm going to do what we're working on over here. I'm also going to touch these areas up. So over here, right away, I'm going to have some stairs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those stairs behind a gate. We'll do a special gate to make sure it's clear that it's special. And we'll do a new page, new page. And what I'm going to do is I will have it partially open if one switch is flipped. So closed, partially open, and then completely open if both switches are flipped. So you have to go through both doors in order to get into that door. And so we'll put something nice and shiny behind there. I'll save that for another video or maybe a playtest demo, because that is going to be a neat area. Next, so continue going. And I want to have a sort of, actually I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Let's, I'm going let's use a different color real quick just for some outlining. I want this to lead to a room like that. And this is going to come off that. There, okay. And return this back to normal. So what I had here is sort of a winding passage going up. I'll make this into a sort of a treasure room of sorts. And I'll come back through and place loot and such before we're done. But for now, I just want to get the rooms laid out nicely. Next, over here, I'm going to make a long hallway. And what I want is every other space or so, I'm going to make a little alcove. Maybe not every other space. Let's do one there, skip one. So we'll put one between each one, alternating sides. And yeah, we'll call that good. Maybe I can move this all down one. Oh, oops, that's why it's not working. So then this will be a little treasure hallway, so to speak. And I'll show you how I'm going to set that up in a little bit. Here, actually, let's have it like that so it comes to an end. So we've got treasure there, we've got a door there. I'm going to fill that. Save real quick, because nothing's quite worse than doing a lot of work on a project only for it to crash. So let's see. Do we have... So this one lets you go there. This one lets you go there and there. We'll set up these. Okay. Looks like all of the rooms are put together. So the first thing I want to add is I'm going to put a dead guy here. There we we go. We'll have an explorer. And say, I like to make my events same as the characters. That way you know it's an event, you run into it. And looks to remains of slaughter, grave, robber. Like this. Then we'll get some supplies. Let's start with a shovel, some rope, do 3 ropes. I passed it. Wood. 3 wood. And explorer gear. And an ancient helmet. There we go. Variety of supplies. Then we gotta make sure we add text. Searching the body. Find a shovel. 3 ropes. 3 wood. Store gear. And ancient helmet. Make sure it looks good. Okay. Shovel, 3 rope, 3 wood. There. So, and that rope and wood will come into play, and so will the shovel in just a moment. And then I want to erase the event. So that'll show up again if you come back through here. Apply, okay. Actually, let's move him into the main room. That way, either direction you come from, you'll still run into that. And the idea is that'll give you a little bit of a kind of head start in this area with the supplies that you need. Next, so we've got this room. I actually want to make this room. Whoops. Wrong tool. There we go. And I want a pillar. Here. There we go. So it makes it narrow. And actually, I'm going to replace those pillars with this. There. And then why that is earlier in the desert, you're actually going to come here. And this is an event. This will trigger a boss fight. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, actually. Then I'm going to put these here. So you have to go through that. you have to go through the middle. And that's where I'm going to put an event below player touch. Show text. Below custom columns to rise and block path. Then we go battle processing, designation. We'll put it down here at 39 and set that fight up. Apply. And can't forget erase event. Do not want people to be stuck fighting that over and over. So enemies. We already have the golem set up here. Not super strong on its own. I mean, pretty dangerous, but nothing crippling. You'll already have fought it once by this point. And this will just be the golems. It won't have any of its allies or any events and things like that backing it up. So we'll go to troops. 39 is where we had it. We will call this treasure guards. And go down and add 2 golems. We'll add a hungering spirit in the middle to support them. There. Apply. Okay. Save again. And then if you look here, we've got now it says treasure guards. Then once you beat them up, quick event creation, treasure. Make it a big fancy chest. Items. We'll start with just a small summoning relic. Toss in iridescent dust. Actually, instead of the iridescent dust, we'll have the crystal seeds. And rare seeds. And some magic seeds. And so what the seeds are is you can plant those back at home and they'll grow different plants. Rare seeds will grow rare herbs, things like the stimulant that can wake you up from knockout. Magic seeds will grow fancier magic herbs. And the crystal seeds will grow those the little dusts that let you increase your stats. So this actually will work out to, this will be a permanent health or magic buff. This will be a permanent attribute buff of one of those core stats. This is a fight that has some nice rewards to it. And then these will give you some useful items for running around in other encounters. Then we've got to edit this. Small summoning relic was found. 3 rare seeds were found. 3 magic seeds were found. And 3 crystal seeds were found. Double check, yes, everything matches up. Okay, file, save project. actually going to copy event page and paste the event page, and this will have another switch active. That will be, here we go, desert chests. So around mid-game, you'll find a mechanic that lets you reset these chests. So we want to just set up that check there to make sure players will be able to do that down the road. So that'll be a fight. You'll get some decent loot out of the fight. Then you get to the chest, and you'll get some better rewards from there. Next, let's see, I'm going to go back to the ruins, and we've got this rubble here. And so I'm going to copy this rubble and bring it back to the pyramid, and we'll put a block right there. So this rubble is if you have a shovel, you can say, so if the party has a shovel, it'll give you these options. If it doesn't, it says you need a shovel to clear it. If you do have a shovel, you can say, yes, I want to clear this, which will then clear the rubble by turning on that self switch, and it'll do a random check. If you roll a 1 on that D4, it will break your shovel. Break, quote unquote, removes your shovel from your inventory. So, got a 25% chance of it breaking each time you use it. They're fairly plentiful, but that's what that explorer there is for, is to give you a shovel. Hopefully by this point you have a couple just on hand. Okay, next, we'll add a pit here. Yeah, right there. And put another one here. And then we'll bring this in one. And then what this is going to be is a similar situation. I'm actually going to go back to the forest. And where's, here we go. Grab one of these bridges, and this will be our framework for what we're going to put here. So right now we have wood bridge side. We're going to change this to rope bridge side. Side just being the direction it goes. And first I want to change this to, let's go to MISC. These are the icons that I have made, and we've got a little rope bridge there. And next we're going to replace this rubble, because there's not going to be rubble just kind of floating over a pit, with these frayed knots. So there's the first part. Now we need to double check this. First we have, does the party have, this is 5 wood. Rope bridges aren't going to use 5 wood, they're going to use 3. So first we check if the party has 3 wood. And update everything that mentions wood. Wood -3. Then we also have to add another check if the party has rope with an else. So then we'll take all of this and put it in here. So if the party has 3 wood and rope, it'll give you this option. Use 3 wood and it looks like that fits. Change items. Rope. Decrease by 1. And that turns that switch on, which will build the bridge. But if the party has no rope, show text. I need rope to fix this. And we'll put the character there, so it's sort of an internal monologue. Change this as well. So I need more wood to fix this. Perfect. Then if you don't have tools, you'll have this prompt. I don't know how you would get here without tools, but always better to have that check than not. So if you somehow cheat your way here, you'll still not have access to everything. There. So, bridge there. Copy that, put that there. So now we have 2 bridges. And we'll put some small chests here. So, quick event creation. Treasure. These ones will switch just to little wood chests. And let's have an ancient axe in 1. We'll put an angel feather in the other. Then on this side, instead of using quick event creation, I'm going to make my own chests, which will be this. New event page. So they'll work pretty similarly, but I'm going to use a common event, and it will be random loot. There. So the party will get random loot, and the chest will turn itself off. Control self switch, turn on, apply. There's these. I'm going to put a few in. So, lots of common loot there. Then, last step, copy, paste, switch, desert chests. Copy, paste, switch, desert chests. Same thing for all of these. So it'll actually be faster to delete these ones and then recopy and paste. So we have a few rooms done now. We don't have anything in these rooms yet. I'll put world loot into those. I'm going to move up here now. So I want to copy the rubble, and we'll put rubble in these corners with a pit in the middle. So you got to kind of find your way around there, bigger pit. So you got to clear the rubble to get to the different sections. Then here we're going to do something similar. We'll have pits in between, followed by rubble in front of them. Back over here, grab the destroyed rope bridges, and make some bridges. So as you clear this out, you'll get to better and better loot. Copy this, and the first 2 will just be basic loot. This one, I actually think I'll make it happen twice, just as a little extra. So this one is just 1 basic loot. This one will give you 2 basic loots. Then let's put one here. Let's copy this one And instead of weak loot, we'll switch to moderate loot. Weak loot, moderate loot. Okay, apply, apply. This one will have weak loot and moderate loot. Weak loot, moderate loot. Okay, save project. And we'll do it again here. This one will make double moderate with some weak, and then the last one here at the very end will have strong, moderate, and weak loot. Chest. I forgot to set the open chest animation for these. I'll go back through and fix that later. You don't need to watch me do that. So, what we have right now is we've got this rubble, we've got a gate that requires both entrances, and we've got a whole lot of loot trapped behind shovels, rope, and wood bridges. We've also got some loot there. We've got a boss fight here, which I need to add an event for. So this is the Pharaoh's tomb, so it'll be the Pharaoh. We'll call this Pharaoh fight. Invisible, same as characters. And it'll be pretty straightforward. Battle processing. We don't have a Pharaoh boss fight set up yet, so I'll set it as 40 and set up can lose. Okay, so if you lose, we will have, where is it? Screen. Fade out screen. Then we'll run the common event, unstick me. And so this event drops you back in town in the temple next to the healing station. And we'll end it with a fade in screen. And if you win, control switches, go back to here, see these are kind of our major event switches. We will have Pharaoh slain. And that'll switch that to on. Apply. And new event page. This one will be present if the Pharaoh slain is on. That way you can't fight him twice. So interacting with either side will activate that. Then I'm going to add an event here that will be a painting. Portraits. Here we've got a desert portrait. Let's make it gold round ringed. Then new event page. And this will be for once you've collected it, it'll just be a blank empty frame. So clicking on it, conditional branch, variable, no, not variable, sorry, switch. There we go, Pharaoh slain. If Pharaoh slain is on, then show text, you collect the strange art piece. Okay. And self switch, A to on. This will use self switch A. Just for full desert painting used to hang here. So there's that. And lastly, we'll run the common event on Steam. So you'll collect the painting, and that'll send you back to town. Else, we'll have some kind of magic is preventing you from taking the painting. So that way, if you try to take the painting early, nothing will happen. It'll tell you something's in the way, and hopefully you'll get the hint you gotta fight the Pharaoh. Up here, I think what I'm going to do is I'll put a special fight in here. That sounds neat. I'm going to decide on the fight first. Battle processing. We'll put a Wandering Oasis in here. It'll be a nice little fight. And we'll check can lose. So if you win, change items, we'll have it drop some useful things like let's have it drop minor HP orb and a minor MP orb. Fade away, leaving behind a 17 minor HP orb and a minor MP orb. And so what these numbers are is those change the color of the text. So your loot is now gold and your text is white. It's a little tedious, but it makes it look a little nicer. Then make sure you add in erase event. And let's look through our monsters here. Let's do a little spring. So there's a little spring there, and we'll put a little water there. So now there's a little water spot, there's a little water spout. If you interact with it, you fight. That leaves this room here and these rooms. So this room, I think I'll put a little mining spot. Let's grab you. And start with flame. Make it sparkly. Then when you interact with it, it will run the common event mining. There. So you come in here, you can mine, you'll get some ore and some rare materials. And that way you can get kind of started on getting geared up for later areas. These I think I'll leave as sort of entranceways. And this one, what do we want in here? let's put a merchant in here. That sounds like a good idea. Let's see who looks desert-y. You know what, let's put a bat in here. Why not? We'll have a bat merchant. Same as character, show text. Please don't hurt me. I'm just a bat trying to sell goods that got stuck here. Self-switch A, and we'll add more text. Would you like to buy something? Then we do where was shop processing? Shop processing, there we go. They will purchase only, you can't sell stuff. And I'm going to have them sell all of the desert goods at a markup, of course. And let's do some armor. So this way, if you don't want to bother with hunting for loot, you can just find this bat and buy stuff. Saves you a lot of time, but it's not going to be cheap. Not that money is particularly rare in this game either. And then ancient helmet. Okay. And lastly, let's add, well, why not? We'll have him sell shovels and rope. We'll make rope 350. Along with desert stingers. And tough plates. Lastly, potions and tea. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, copy event page, paste event page, delete that, self-switch A, and we'll remove that little intro message so he won't freak out every time you interact with him. And we'll also have movement random and moving slowly. Last thing I'm going to do in here for now is I like to have some little creatures running around for the party to avoid. Go with this spirit. Battle processing. And we'll put this at 41. With erase event. Okay. Movement random, speed normal, frequency higher, apply. Okay. So first we need to set up, this will be the Pharaoh fight. Pharaoh fight, which will of course require the Pharaoh. We'll have 2 minions and 2 Holy Earth Spirits supporting him. There. Okay. And that will be from this. Yep, and see it says Pharaoh fight now, so that should work just fine. Then after the Pharaoh fight, we will have Pyramid Guards. And for the guards, we will have a couple Hungering Spirits, some Vestiges, a Holy Earth Spirit, and 2 Enraged Desert Spirits. This should be not a particularly tough fight, but it will be troublesome. There. Okay, so that will run around, player touch, and that also means that you can't run into him until you open those gates. It'll also be stuck within these. I'll put it in there as a starting point. Last thing I want to do is I want to make sure there's no combat in the Pharaoh's tomb and in probably that room. So I'm going to go to this region thing, and I'm going to make sure I fill all of the areas where combat is allowed, while making sure any non-combat areas are blank. I wonder actually, so let's just try blocking these off. Okay, everything else looks good. So I'll make behind here non-combat. I'll make that non-combat. I'll make that non-combat. And I'll make that non-combat. And then I'm curious, can I just do... I see. Alright, that's not that big of a deal though. So we'll just outline the combat area. You know, so yeah, it's probably just easier to fill it in. And the neat part about doing it this way too is you have a lot more control over what encounters show up where. So for example, like this fight, I could just paint this in there and make it so you can fight that thing again if you're in this room. Which I might do. That doesn't sound like a terrible idea. I think I won't, though. So there, all of the combat areas are now marked with red. Then we go to the pyramid, and we can add troops. Of course, we are in the desert, so you have these templates, and make sure you change the region, because that's going to decide what actually, or where those actually show up. So I have these pre-prepared templates. I'll explain how to use the templates in a different video. They're pretty neat. They're pretty simple. And they're actually pretty versatile. I'm really enjoying them. Add the scorpion nest fight. And I think that's all that I want for in here. So it'll be these templates and the scorpion nest. Okay. File. Save. Pretty simple area. I'll let's add in world loot before we go, actually. So look at, here we go. So these are little world loot pouches. They're all controlled by this middle event. Right, it swaps back and forth. So first I need to copy that control event and paste it somewhere out of sight. Not that it'll be visible at all anyways. Then let's see, where's pouch 1? Okay, so that's a pouch 1. And these pouches do have slightly different loot, so that's why I want to make sure I have one of each. And the way it's set up is these are where you're going to find most of the equipment. Consumable items will be found through fights, whereas gear will be found in these little world loot pouches. Now that I have these set up, I'm going to go around and I'll paste a few of them. We'll put one there, one there, one there. Put a few in difficult to get to locations, just to encourage you to go there. And then, so these won't all show up at the same time either. That's another important aspect of these. Only a quarter of them will show up at any time, and picking one up has a chance to make the others disappear. So the way it works is every 10 steps, this event will run a check. Every 10 steps. So it'll set up a variable. If that variable equals 10, if steps equals 10, then depending on what that variable rolled, it'll set different things. This one is set up for 6, so I actually need to swap that and switch it to 4. There we go. So every 10 steps, there'll be a 1 in 4 chance of any of these showing up. Then once that shows up, this will turn itself off by activating that World Loot Master. And that way, that prevents that auto run from freezing things up. When you collect a loot pouch, at the bottom here, it'll turn that World Loot Master off, which will then let that master loot run again. So this should actually be parallel, not auto run, because auto run can get you stuck. So be careful with that, okay? Parallel. So now every 10 steps, some loot will show up. You can collect the loot, and that'll let more loot show up. That encourages you to try and explore everything, try to unlock as many of these gates as you can. That'll also help you get things like wood, rope, and shovels while you're in the dungeon, instead of having to stock up on those beforehand. This is only one section of a much larger area, as you can see over here. So that this is the desert. There's a total of the desert ruin, desert tower, and 3 pyramids. So lots to do, lots to explore. And as always, make sure you save your project before you're done. And there you have it. That is one map fully set up. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial with me. Treasure seeds. Save that. Now these ones I want to do a little bit different because they are the treasure themed. Let's do... I'm going to hollow them out real quick. These ones I think I'll give a different texture to. Let's start with gold.